This BetMGM 300 Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. We're also brought to you by the Mega Memorial Merch Sale. 15% off of everything in the SGPN merch store with promo code SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. The wonderful, most exciting week in racing continues as we start to break down the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Yes, the big three, like I said, Cody, yesterday are out of the way, but we still have great racing to even lead up into those fantastic Sunday races. So just an exciting week of racing. King making his appearance on the Xfinity show. Welcome, King.
Well,
you know why?
Ty Gibbs is in the race. That's why. I think if you stick around, King, you'll be pretty happy to hear what we have to say about that. So yeah, Rod, it's like it's a lot like a big fight, right? We got the main card on Sunday, three big, heavyweight bouts coming your way, title fights. But this undercard with little Xfinity on Saturday, trucks on Friday night. It's not a bad little undercard to set up the racing weekend for you. Fluff that budget up a little bit to give you a little more to spend on Sunday. That's always a good thing.
Well, I mean, I listen again. My love of WWE is flaring through. This is like when WrestleMania, you have three main title fights, and every other one that's leading up to it is still a good fight. You know, the cage matches, the triple threat matches, and all of the little underling cards underneath that are all such a great show to get you tempted for what's to come on the big day. So yes, Xfinity race, but Cody, I mean, we'll get into this more when we start breaking down the race. This almost has the feel of a Cup Junior race rather than a full-on Xfinity race. Yeah,
it does. Dos Flacos, by the way, I would like to note 3 minutes and 50 seconds in before Rod get his first WWE reference. So I know he's happy about that. But yeah, since you brought it up, let's just go ahead and talk about the entry list. A lot of Cup Series flavor this week. You know, it's a big week for these race teams as far as, you've got the crown jewel on Sunday in the Coke 600. It's a big racing weekend in general. Everything is going on at the shops this entire week. It's like a big fan fest all week long because people are coming into town. It's the home track. You're right there. And so these are the guys like to get out and do this race as well. So we've got 40 entries for 38 spots, Rod. Chase Elliott is going to be making a start in the number 17. We haven't seen him a ton in Xfinity lately, but he'll be in the Hendrick 17. Taylor Gray is going to be in the 19. The 20 car originally had Eric Almirola on the entry list, but Ty Gibbs is now going to be racing there. I've not seen if there's a story behind that or if they just hadn't updated the entry list when they sent the entry in. Dean Thompson making a start in the 26 car. So yeah, that's something. Noah Gragson returns to the Xfinity Series, Rod. This one will be a little interesting. So he's racing for Rhett Jones Racing. I really don't know much about them. You have to assume this is a Stewart-Haas car, I think, right? And the odds reflect that they also believe that it's a Stewart-Haas prepared car. So Rhett Jones Racing is the name, which is not a name I recognize. So I'm not sure the deal there. But also you have Kyle Busch, Rod. He's going to be in the 33 car, a Richard Childress racing car. So not the Colleague car that he's been in previously, a Richard Childress racing car. And then let's see, other notables. You got Akinori Ogata in the 35. Always a fun name to say. Natalie Decker in the 92 as well. So yeah, those are kind of your notable entries, but a very, very loaded field for Xfinity this week.
Yep, and it's as you look at the odds, you'll notice that even though there are all these Cup guys, the odds don't necessarily get pushed the way we've seen them in the past. So definitely something we'll touch on in a second. But let's tell you already, we told you before, we'll tell you again, it's the biggest week in racing. The Indy 500, Monaco Grand Prix, Coke 600, all of these races. Probably some toddlers racing down on their tricycles, heading down the street. You want to bet on that too? You can. We got you covered for that. Maybe not the tricycle race. That may be hard to handicap because I don't know how fast little Johnny is and his track record around your block. But if there were odds, I'm sure we would try to do it. But make sure you follow us here. Follow us on the F1 Gambling Podcast. We already broke down Monaco for you earlier in the week, so we got ahead of the game there. Not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, you can enter our contest. Yes, you can enter our contest to win these fantastic looking Kyle Larson die casts, right? You got the Indy 500 die cast up there, and you've got the Coke 600 die cast right below. And best of all, he signed the thing, so you can enter to win this right now. How do you do that? You go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/race to register, and make sure to subscribe to both of the channels on your favorite podcatchers, and of course the NASCAR Gambling channel here on YouTube. All you got to do is pick the winner of the Indy 500, the Coke 600, and the Monaco GP. We're even taking Max out of the equation to make it a little more challenging for you. So the winner without Max of the Monaco Grand Prix, make sure you do that. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/race to get in on the action now. Plus, we are running a mega Memorial Day merch sale all month long. 15% off of everything in the merch store right now. If you use the promo code SGPNMay, get those hoodies, get those shirts, get those Racing Gambling Podcast paraphernalia like a coffee mug or anything else you want to get your hands on. So much great stuff in that merch store. SGPNMay to get your hands on that. All right, Cody, as you said before, it is definitely the Xfinity race. 200 laps around the 1.5 mile paved track for 300 miles around the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. One of the old school cookie cutter 1.5 miles. Yeah, but it's not really a cookie cutter 1.5 miles. I mean, I think it became the framework for what a cookie cutter 1.5 miles became, but it was the OG, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was kind of one of the OGs, and it's still around here in the post cookie cutter era. Obviously, we don't have as many 1.5 miles as we used to. So, but 1.5 mile racing, I mean, Xfinity Series really is it's killed it everywhere. We've had good races on all the packages, but you think back to Texas not very long ago. Sam Mayer edges out Ryan Sieg at the very end of that race. So they've been delivering on the intermediate tracks as well. And then you infuse it with the talent that's in this race with all of these Cup guys. And this isn't probably going to be one of those Cup races or one of those races where a Cup guy just runs away with this. I'd be pretty surprised at that. We're probably going to get on some outrights for some Cup guys, right? But I think that the local talent, aka the normal Xfinity drivers, right? They're going to hold their own in this, much like we've seen in the Truck Series. Again, it's a lot different now than it used to be back in the day. This isn't, even 2021 when Kyle Busch went 5 for 5 with first place finishes in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. When you're not, Kyle Busch making his first Xfinity start in a very, very long time. We'll talk about that too later on in the show. But
since last year,
but I think he only made he made 4 starts.
He made 4 last year. But
I'm thinking I don't know what I'm.
They were all forgettable, Rod, so it's okay.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like I honestly forgot that he was even in them last year. But Kyle Busch making his first start of the season for sure in Xfinity. But yeah, I don't know that we're going to see these guys come in and kill it like we do. I mean, we made a big deal about Amarola, and yeah, he ran well. Yeah, he won, but it's not as if he was killing everybody every single week. And I know, he's a retired Cup guy, but he's still a Cup guy, right? So, I'm definitely seeing an edge for, and you look back in the last couple of races too. There weren't very many Cup regulars in these races. So this is the most that have been in the Charlotte race for Xfinity in a while, as far as Cup Series regulars mixing it in. So, it made it a little difficult to handicap, not to mention, let's face it, Cody, the limited amount of options we were given already this week there's some now. They trickled in a little more.
Well, it took a while. Yeah. I mean, until today, like we didn't have many options, but
give us top 10s, damn it.
Well, that's something we should get every week, Rod. Unfortunately, here we are. So we do have one news story to touch on real quick, Rod. I've got a question for you first.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know how much you pay attention to NASCAR's social media as far as what NASCAR actually posts, but what do you think the ratio is of clips that they have shared and tweets that they have sent out of stuff of racing from the All-Star race compared to stuff from the fight from the All-Star race?
So, being the astute social media observer that I am, I'm going to go ahead and say that the negative part of that, i.e., the Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Busch scuffle, got, I'd say, 95% of the coverage on the NASCAR social channels. Why, Cody? Why? Because the negative will always get clicks. I had it happen in a recent thing in which and people are still not talking about positive. Anytime something negative happens, they're all over it. Anytime something positive happens,
but
crickets.
You're using this fight to promote your sport and to promote what's going on. When we get to Charlotte this week, what do you think we're going to see? Clips of Joey Logano leading 199 of 200 laps?
No.
Or are we going to see clips of the fight on TV? Next year, when we go to the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro, do you think they're going to show Joey Logano leading 122 or 199 laps? Or are they going to show the fight? So we're using the fight to promote the sport, and it's the big deal that we have here. But we're going to fine Ricky Stenhouse $75,000. We're going to suspend Ricky Stenhouse Sr. indefinitely. And then they threw out a mechanic for Ricky Stenhouse for 8 races and his engine tuner for 4 races for being involved in the fight. I understand you have to police things because you can't have fighting every week. But if you're going to the lengths that NASCAR is going to promote this fight that happened, should we be giving out penalties like this? I don't know. It's interesting. But that is the news, Rod. Stenhouse fined $75,000. Richard Stenhouse Sr., indefinite suspension, which is what we generally see. Nick Sanchez's dad got that last year. Tom Logano back in the day. We've seen it some other times too. And then his mechanic got 8 races for his involvement, and his engine tuner got 4 races. No penalties for Kyle Busch or his team. That crewman that was on the truck just slinging guys off.
That's what I was.
He was diffusing the situation, is what they determined. So
he was diffusing pretty hard. I'll tell you that.
It was quite the enforcement, but it was diffusing. So I guess there you go.
That dude looked like the bouncer that was trying to keep me out of a reputable establishment when I was kept trying to, do you know who I am? And he kept trying to chuck me out. And he finally, he kept me out. But at the same time, yeah, that dude was chucking hard. I'm not surprised that he didn't get any sort of fine. But at the same token, here's what I have to say. All right, about this whole thing. And to this day, I mean, they make entire NASCAR sanctioned shows and documentaries about rivalries, and in those rivalries they continue to show the heated swings, right?
How many times have we seen the 1979 Daytona 500?
That's it.
I can't even tell you who won that Daytona 500, Rod, but I can tell you about the fight that happened on the backstretch in the last lap.
Yeah, I mean, anytime another driver takes a swing at another driver, instantly it becomes fodder for that. And yet you're right. I mean, but it doesn't happen all the time, and I think even the fines don't matter. It doesn't do anything to curb it.
Yeah.
Because
I saw it was funny because obviously Ricky's in the news this week, and then like the post pops up from like Zillow Extreme Houses or whatever, and it's like Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s $47 million mansion, and you're like, yeah, okay, he can afford a $75,000 fine, I guess, huh?
that's like finding me 75 cents. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But
I'll go dig it out of the change jar, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, if I said $75, that would actually be a whole different thing, because then I would definitely, that would hurt.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm okay. Not getting fined that. But yeah, again, we'll see it. We'll see it all season long. It'll make the highlight reels to the end of the year. I think you're right. I think it's an overreaction. So I'm not on NASCAR's side on this one. I don't think you needed to go that heavy into the pocketbook, even though it's not going to really kill him at all. cry $75,000.
Makes their statement, I guess. So whatever.
Yeah. Yep. We'll take it and we'll run with it. It won't affect anything going forward. Again, I think the whole thing is over. So yeah, let's not worry about that anymore. Let's worry about racing, Cody. Let's talk racing, but let's talk Underdog Fantasy first. Underdog Fantasy, it is the place to play, and it's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. NBA playoffs are here. Our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting because, like I said, Underdog's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, assists, and so much more. And of course, in the world of racing, higher than or lower than the projected finishing position of your favorite drivers. You can make entries in all just basketball if that's what you so choose, or you can mix and match across all your other favorite sports like racing, like NFL when it comes around, like esports, like hockey, like baseball, like all kinds of stuff that you got going on over there. And so you can win up to 100 times your money. It's a ton of fun. Plus, Underdog Fantasy is going to give new customers a pick'em special in the lobby when you sign up. Make sure to do that. Plus, Underdog's running a ton of different promos, bonus cash, airdrops, specials, giveaways, and more throughout the NBA playoffs. Make sure to follow at Underdog Picks on Twitter to keep an eye out. Underdog's available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, and Canada. They also just launched Champions, their player versus player format in Florida. Sign up today with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN.
Let's see. King checking in again. Natalie Decker will be passed more than a blunt at a Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson party. That's if she makes the race, which she might not, because two people will not. Robert, what's up, guys? Any news why Almirola is out of the 20? I haven't seen anything on why he's out of the 20. I don't know if it was just a personal deal, wanted to be at home with the family for the holiday weekend. That's could be, maybe a softball tournament or baseball tournament popped up for the kids. I know he's, that's part of his wanting to be retired is to do that. So it could be something like that. Who knows? We haven't heard anything. So be interesting to find out if we do. Nick Fortune also checking in. Afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon, Nick Fortune.
Love it. Yeah, I'm scrolling right now trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, I was just looking too, and I haven't, and I had looked earlier, and I haven't seen anything on why. It's just all the news is the entry list got switched. So not really sure what the deal was there.
I'm sure they'll let us know. The whole race team will be on there to tell us. So
or they won't, and he'll be at the next race that he's got to run. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's going to kill a lot of people that Eric Almirola is not in this race. And it is Memorial Day weekend, which means he probably may want to be with his family on the long weekend. So who knows? That I know Ty Gibbs doesn't have that worry. Monster Girl's waiting there. I'm just saying. All right, Cody, let's get me out of trouble and get into some bets here for this BetMGM. Although, you know how I love that BetMGM obviously has BetMGM 300, but when you go around to other books, they're all just Charlotte 300. They don't want to give BetMGM any free press.
You can't, I guess. That's in quite a conundrum there for them. All right, Rod, should we get to the bets?
Let's get to the bets.
We're going to start off with one of those Cup drivers. Chase Elliott is in this race, plus 120 for a top 5, Rod. I understand that Chase Elliott has not done a lot of Xfinity Series racing here lately, but we're talking about the NASCAR champion, lot time winner in the Cup Series, Chase Elliott here, right? Plus money for a top 5 finish. Okay, well, he's in a shitty Colic car, right? No, he's in a Hendrick Motorsports. I don't quite understand this. It doesn't really make any sense why he's plus 120 just to finish in the top 5. So Kyle Busch could beat him, Ty Gibbs could beat him, Justin Allgaier could beat him, Chandler Smith can beat him. He can still finish inside the top 5 at plus 120. Just seems crazy to me. One start last season, 3rd place at Pocono. He did have more scheduled starts last year, but of course had the injury with the leg, so didn't quite get into all of those. He only made one start in 2021. That was at the Indy Road Course, but 4th place there. So 2 for 2, 2 for 2 over the last 2 years here. You look back at his time in Xfinity here, it was so long ago, it's really hard to measure too much. This is now champion Chase Elliott, multi-time Cup winner. I mean, a couple seasons ago, won 5 or 6 races in the Cup Series. So you go back and look what he's done here in the Cup Series. He won here in May of 20, not the Coke 600, but they ran a 500-miler race that same week when we were doing doubleheaders with COVID and all of that. He was second here in 2021 in the Coke 600, fourth in 2019. He's got 6 top 5 finishes in the last 8 Cup races here, and you're getting plus money for him to finish top 5 in the Xfinity race. Just, it doesn't really make any sense to me, Rod. It's a great number. So Chase Elliott, top 5, plus 120.
Yeah, it would be one thing too if he was driving that 30 or that 33 car like Busch, like Chastain, or not Chastain, Gragson. Like it would be, yeah, I could see him being plus money for a top 5. But you think about him just being in that 17 car, and we've seen that 17 car be very well. I mean, Kyle Larson obviously winning in that thing. So. Right. Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, and like even William Byron, I mean, he had early issues at Darlington, but ends up recovering and having a good day. And it's not, we'll talk about it here in a minute when we get to some of these other bets, but these Cup guys aren't just locks to be up there, right? We've seen Kyle Busch at Darlington in the truck race, right? Lap 2, he wrecks out and his day's over. Like it's not a lock, but the fact that you're getting him at plus 120 when he is as good as he is, he should be inside the top 5. So I think that makes it a good bet. Minus 140, minus 160. Okay, then maybe we're not quite going there. But the number you're getting it at for the talent, the good car. I mean, again, it's a Hendrick 17 car, which has run multiple times at this point this season. It's a Hendrick car. I don't know if you've noticed, they're pretty good at what they do. So yeah, it just makes sense.
I concur. All right, my first bet, Junior Motorsports is back, baby. They won last week. Now everybody in the garage is
Justin Allgaier?
The reverberation.
No? Sam Mayer?
No.
Brandon Jones.
No.
No. I thought you said JRM was back, Rod.
Hey, they're back. And guess what? That's going to reverberate all throughout the garage. Sammy Smith is going to find himself a brand new lease on life. Look, I'm looking at these numbers, right? And I know, Cody's got a lot of top 5s, and I'll give him props for all these top 5s, but none of the other top 5s to me look sexy outside of the few that he's giving you. And honestly, even a couple of those were like, but for me, Sammy Smith is a top 5 car, given the fact that, JRM may be back. I don't know. They had a couple of cars over there in the top 5 at the end of last week, but Sammy Smith, I looked at this number and it's plus 500 for Sammy Smith to be a top 5 car. Now, granted, the kid's still only 19. He's not even going to be 20 by the time he takes the track. He'll be 20 a couple of weeks from now on June 4th, but not yet. He's still 19 years old. He's only raced this track once, and that was in Gibbs equipment, yes. But we've always said Gibbs and Junior Motorsports, 2 classes of the field. Yeah, I know Cody gives Gibbs the edge in that one. And yes, the statistics also give Gibbs the edge in that one. But Junior Motorsports is not too far behind. But anyways, 10th place finish for Sammy Smith in his only run here. Where I'm really going toward this, and I know that we harp on him quite a bit, okay? But he's still got 6 top 10 finishes in 11 starts. Like that's actually not bad when you look at it. I know that he doesn't appear on the screen more than you want him to, but he's there at the end of the race. Now, he hasn't been there at the end of the last 3 races. I'll tell you that much right now. 21st at Talladega, 33rd at Dover, 34th at Darlington. I mean, straight up woof, right? But 8th place at Texas, okay? 7th at Martinsville, 9th at Richmond, 9th at Phoenix, 8th at Vegas. These are all just circling around that top 5 number. And for a guy that's been able to put himself within 2 or 3 positions, 4 positions of the top 5 on these mile and a halves, on these miles and mile and a third, like something's got to give, right? I mean, Sammy's going to get this thing figured out at some point. He's not that bad of a driver. He can't, skirt this for very much longer. I think he's going to get it pieced together. We're getting to the push part of this summer, right? Where we're just about to start the summer push. Maybe this is the part where he puts it together. Maybe the up in competition with Busch, with Elliott, with all these guys, kind of lights a fire underneath them, and he starts to hang with these guys. I don't know what it is, but 5-1 to me seems like a really good number for a guy that, like I said, has been very close to a top 5 on some of these mile and a half tracks this season. So, and again, it's Junior Motorsports. We're not talking about, Rick Ware Xfinity Series cars. We're talking.
Don't be hating on Rick Ware, Rod. They're going to top 10 this week in the Coke 600.
You're right. But outside of that, look, I think the number is right for a Sammy Smith top 5 to take a jump on. I know it hurts, and I know it's yucky, but I think it's a good number.
Rod, he's not even a top 5 driver at Junior Motorsports, right? They've got Justin Allgaier. They've got Sam Mayer. They've got Carson Quapple. They got Bubba Pollard. They got Dale Earnhardt Jr. Brandon Jones might even be ahead of him. I don't know. This is I like the number for the equipment. You can get Taylor Gray at the same number and better equipment. I don't know. I can't get on the Sammy Smith train. I tried so hard to get on the Sammy Smith train when he was in Gibbs equipment last year because it's like he was in Gibbs equipment. And he just let me down time and time again. He gets the JRM. I like your point about the top 10. So he's kind of hanging around there. Loaded field. It's going to be tougher this week. I don't know if I can buy this one, Rod.
I mean, look, like I said, it's not going to feel good when you do it. But
in sticking with tradition, we have to disagree on the Xfinity show. So
we have to disagree. So there's disagreement number one. Kids, if you don't like hearing mom and dad fight, turn it off. So, all right, we're going to get back to the bets, but I first want to tell you about Rhythm. If you are betting on NBA player props, you got to download Rhythm. Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to go through and find the best props to put your money on in seconds. Rhythm's predictions are backed by over 3 years of data and a team of data scientists and quants that focus on fine-tuning our algorithm to give you the best shot at winning. Rhythm pairs its prediction with player prop graphics to help you feel even more confident in your picks, which you can make wherever you normally place your bets or DFS picks. From superstars to bench players, Rhythm finds the best player prop lines, all backed by AI data without you needing to endlessly scroll a sportsbook. Rhythm also allows you to create your own custom NBA models so you can get AI-backed money line, spread, and total picks for every playoff game. Start a free 7-day trial and start winning your NBA player props with Rhythm, available wherever you get your apps. All right, Cody, let's continue on down the road. What is the next bet that I won't agree with you? Actually, I will.
Well, we're going to agree on this one, Rod, because JRM is back, but with an actual good driver. So this is the Fade KFB section. Originally, when I started in on this section, I was thinking that Kyle was going to be in colleague equipment. I was really loving the case that I was building. Then I realized he's in RCR equipment, but I still, I referenced it before, 2021, 5 for 5, Kyle Busch won every single Xfinity race he jumped in, and that wasn't an uncommon thing. He did that a lot of times in the Truck Series and in the Xfinity Series back in the day. That was in JGR equipment. Then we go to last season, Rod, and he was in 4 races. He had a 4th place at Las Vegas, okay, but 9th place at Phoenix, 9th place at Darlington, 27th place at Watkins Glen. Just not good runs from him. Now, we know that RCR equipment is better than colleague, right? And we've seen what Austin Hill's been able to do. And we've seen what Jesse Love, even as a young rookie, has been able to do in it. So it definitely is an upgrade in equipment, but it's not the JGR equipment of old. This is a tough field. And I think that because of the price you're getting these matchups at. So I'm taking Justin Allgaier over Kyle Busch at plus 120, and I'm taking Ty Gibbs over Kyle Busch at plus 100. We've seen from the Truck Series, Kyle's not invincible, right? Lap 2 of Darlington, takes himself out because he just gets in a bad air spot, and that's how it goes. I don't really expect that type of mistake from him this week, but he's not invincible. And we've seen Truck Series regulars be able to beat him. Xfinity Series regulars have been able to beat him as well last season, and they're able to do it. Guys like Justin Allgaier, we just saw it recently at Darlington, right? He kind of killed everyone there, wins the race, has a great day. You go back and you look last season at both Las Vegas and Darlington, the 2 kind of comp tracks that Kyle raced at. Allgaier was better than him at both of those. So that's a good thing for you there. Won Darlington, like I mentioned, he was 3rd place at Texas as well. Again, that piano was falling on him a lot early in the season. But I kept saying, Rod, that once he gets around that piano and it stops falling out of the sky, he's a really good driver. He's going to get plenty of wins. He's going to have lots of good races. I actually had him in consideration for an outright this week. I didn't take it, but I think at plus 120 over Kyle Busch, I'm looking at these 2 guys equally. I think that the JRM equipment is better than the RCR equipment, and obviously Kyle Busch is one of the best drivers in NASCAR history, so his talent's more than Allgaier, but I think they're a pretty even playing field here. I think they're both going to be in the mix potentially to win this, should both be in the mix for a top 5. So if you're going to give me one of them at plus 120, I think Kyle Busch shouldn't be as favorited as he is. This isn't 2001 JGR, or well, it's not 2001 either, but it's not 2021 JGR Kyle Busch. This is, for one, a different Kyle Busch that we've not seen be as good in the Cup Series or the Truck Series and in the Xfinity Series as well. And Allgaier's firing on all cylinders. They figured stuff out here more recently, so I like that at plus 120. And then even money against Ty Gibbs, Rod, with Kyle Busch. So here, I think it's a little bit more of a different story because Ty Gibbs is in the best equipment, hands down. The 20 car will be the fastest car in the field this weekend, and he's going to be really good. And Kyle, obviously Kyle's got the longer history and is more talented in general, but Ty's got a lot more experience in Xfinity recently. He's been kicking ass. And I just think at even money for this, again, they're close enough to being matched up with Ty having the, really Ty's been running better in the Cup Series. Ty's probably going to run better in the Xfinity Series. He should be in a faster car. I don't think that he should just be even money against Kyle Busch. So fade Kyle Busch, not because I think Kyle Busch is going to have a horrible day. I think he'll be a top 5 driver. I think he could even be in contention to win this race. But because the price you're getting these other guys for being at least equal and in better cars, I like Justin Allgaier at plus 120. I like Ty Gibbs at even money over Kyle Busch.
You got no argument for me about the Justin Allgaier part of this. And honestly, listen, I don't know if weather's an issue in Charlotte. Again, we always tell you we'll check the weather, but at the same time, hearing
about weather. Right?
Well, but if weather rains out another qualifying,
might be an issue in the Indy 500, unfortunately.
Yes, see, and that's what I'm saying. And that's close enough to Charlotte that it'll make you a little. I don't know.
Is it, Rod? I don't think it's that.
Weather's weather in big, huge chunks, right? I mean, we see big parts of the country affected by the same weather pattern. So I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not even barely a handicapper. So get off me.
You're not a map person either.
No, I'm not. What?
There's 38% chance. Oh, that's Sunday.
People always tell me that LA
Saturdays
where I'm at, so they're not map people either.
Well, all of California is close together, Rob.
Oh, Disneyland, you can get there in 10 minutes. People that live in LA can't even get there in 10 minutes. What are you talking about? All right,
LA can't get 2 blocks in 10 minutes.
Oh, they can't. No, for Kyle Busch though, listen, he's admitted himself. He told Ricky Stenhouse, why are you mad? I suck just as bad as you do right now. So he even knows it, right? I mean, so it's not. I don't know why he's coming down to race this one. Maybe he just needs to get a shot, and he may not make this race if something happens.
Well,
it's not locked in, is it? His 30 car?
Well, yeah, the 33 would be an additional. I mean, there's probably no owner points or anything because they haven't run that car. But yeah, again, I think Kyle's going to be fine. He's going to run in the top 5. He's going to look good. I just don't think it's just, we're over. I don't know if it's overreacting, but we're thinking about the old Kyle Busch in Xfinity, and it's a new time now. And then with this field, especially with these guys you got matched up at it shouldn't be. This isn't Kyle Larson. It's not, and Kyle Busch used to be what Kyle Larson is, but he's not anymore. It's how it is now. So King approves Tyrone over Busch. Easy money. So there you go.
I mean, listen, that's all you need right there. Go place that bet right now. Love it. Speaking of love, I'm taking Jesse Love. You talked about that Stewart Haas equipment and how well Austin Hill and Jesse Love have been doing in it this season. Well, I think he's going to continue his run. They got him matched up against AJ Allmendinger at -110. And at first, when you first read this, you go, oh yeah, you got to slam that Love part of it, right? Well, I mean, yes, but it's not really as cut and dry as you may think it is. The books actually did pretty good to pair them together because Jesse Love, the hot name, right? And AJ Allmendinger, it's kind of old news for people. They forget how well he ran in the Xfinity Series a couple seasons ago. They look at him now and think, oh man, AJ Allmendinger hasn't been running all that well. He's only got 5 top 10s and 11 starts. He's only got 1 top 5 so far this season. His average finish is 15.5. I get all that. But here's why the case is not as cut and dry as you think it is. At Las Vegas, right, a 1.5 mile track, AJ Allmendinger started 3rd and finished 6th. In Las Vegas, that's Jesse Love learned real quick after his 2 poles. He came back down to earth in Las Vegas at that first 1.5 miles, right? This was the learning curve for him. Couple of super speedway-esque races, he was living on cloud 9, right? He started first. Of course, he finished 20th in Daytona, started on the pole again in Atlanta. Jesse Love taking this thing by storm, right? Finished 12th. Not a bad finish at that one, but then starts 15th in Vegas, ends up finishing 17th at the end of the day. Rebounded for a second place finish at Phoenix, but that's of course a mile. At Texas, right? Starts on the pole at Texas. You're like, that's great for him. Ends up finishing 9th. But of course, the wily vet AJ Allmendinger finishes 4th. So why am I saying that Jesse Love is going to be inside of the top 5 in this, or just as Jesse Love's going to finish better than AJ Allmendinger if I'm giving you all the stats on the opposite? Well, really, it's just that win at Talladega and this 8th place at Darlington. He's trending in the right direction, whereas AJ Allmendinger, 19th, 6th, and 5th, and 35th rather in his last 3 races. AJ looked fast at Darlington. He started 4th, right, but he just couldn't get it go. He couldn't finish it out. 126 is the number of laps that he ended up running that day. And I mean, for AJ Allmendinger, he's going to be in the mix, right? He's going to be a top 10 car. He's going to continue to be one of the faster cars. And this racetrack has not been kind to him either, right? In his 3 Xfinity starts on this track, his average finish 26th. He's got a 26th place finish in 2007. Got to go all the way back to the 42 car back then. But his 2 starts in the 2021, 33rd place finish, had some brake problems, could not finish that race. And then in fact, he hasn't finished. Well, he did finish the last race, started 8th, finished 19th. So he starts well, just doesn't finish well on this track in particular. Something about Charlotte in the Xfinity Series does not treat AJ kind, coming off a couple of disappointing starts for him. So Jesse Love he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and he has nothing to fear on this track. So give me Jesse Love over AJ Allmendinger at -110.
Wow, Rod going against AJ Allmendinger.
It hurt.
Somebody could write this down in the record books and note the day, because it might be the first time. But no arguments for me. I think you laid out a really good case, and I love what I've seen from Jesse Love. So I like it, Rod. Something else that I like: Tyrone Gibbs, top 3, +120. Again, what are we doing here? We're getting these good numbers on these guys. The top 3, Kyle Busch could win this, Chase Elliott could win this, or Justin Allgaier could win this. I mean, and there's still room for Ty Gibbs to finish here in the top 3 at plus money, +120. I really like it. And I mentioned earlier, he's recently out of the Xfinity Series. It's not that long ago where he's running full time and kicking everyone's ass. Last season, he ran down in Xfinity a few times. 4th place in Michigan. He did finish 5th place here. Led 58 laps in that race, so had a pretty good day there. Not top 3, but not far out of the top 3. And again, that was the Ty Gibbs, still kind of rookie in the Cup Series, maybe a little bit overwhelmed, getting things figured out. Now he's finishing 2nd place in Cup Series races the last time we were out in a points race. So he's really got things clicking on all cylinders. In 2022, he was 2nd place here in this race when he was full-time in Xfinity Series. Also that season, Rod, 2nd at Miami, 4th at Las Vegas, 3rd at Texas, 1 Michigan, 1 Vegas, 1. He also won this race in 2021. So 2 of the last 3 times he's been here, 1st and 2nd place finishes. And then even last year, 5th place, but he led 58 laps. Love Ty Gibbs this week. I think he's going to be in contention to win this race. But I like having the little insurance top 3 just in case he doesn't get it done.
Yeah, I feel like I need to clip the Erykah Badu song Call Tyrone, because I feel like that's when every time you mention Ty Gibbs, it goes, I think you better call Tyrone. That would be appropriate for that. You guys have already skipped past every single thing I say at this point. You guys have AI trained to skip past me and go straight to Cody. So applaud
I don't think that's the case, right?
Applaud to you if you figure all that out. King doesn't even know.
What the fuck?
Hey, go listen to that song. That song is it's my jam right now. Anyways, Cole Custer's also my jam. This dude is a guy that actually you think, and we talked about him last season at length because he was supposed to go in and win 6,000 races and win for the next 4 seasons in a row. Didn't do it. Still got the championship, but didn't win all the 95 races that it took to get there. But they got him as a top 3 finisher. I was going to take his top 5, but I thought I'd up the ante a little bit because his top 3 number was like plus 120 or something like that. And that wasn't juicy enough. And then I even saw his top 3 number. I think it was on Caesars at like plus 170 or something. And then I flipped over to 365. They got his top 3 at plus 220. I like that even more. I will begin and end my argument with the fact that Cole Custer's average finish here since February 2021 in the Xfinity Series, 3rd place. Now, granted, he has 1 start in that, and that was the 3rd place finish. But that's a damn good average right there.
We saw how that worked out at Darlington, right? They referenced it like 10 times on the TV broadcast. Average finish is 3rd place. Where'd he finish, Rob?
Third place.
Third
Look at, so here's the thing, right? He did start fourth and ended up third in the 2023 race. In 2019, he didn't obviously do the 2020, 2021 because he was in 2022 because he was in the Cup Series trying to figure out how to make it there. But in the 2019 race, freaking Cole Custer, right? So he leads 24 laps in this, and then he's leading late in the race, and then there's a caution, and then he picks the bottom lane on the restart, and for whatever reason, he pushed the gas pedal, and the car just coughed and didn't go, and slid all the way back to 24th place after that. But he was fighting with Christopher Bell at that point. He was fighting with Tyler Reddick at that point for the win in that race. Like I said, he was leading late, and maybe if it weren't for that caution, he might have ended out that race in front because he was running away from everybody else at that point. I don't know. Tyler Reddick may have chased him down. Tyler Reddick had a fast-ass car in that particular race. But, yeah, Cole Custer could have very easily hung on to win that race if his car would not have just quit on him when he put the gas pedal down in that one. And then the race before in 2018, a second-place finish, 6th in 2017, 7th in look, 5 top 10 finishes and 6 starts, right? A 4th place in 2016. He knows how to get around this track. He leads laps around this track. So Cole Custer to be a top 3. I don't care who else is in this. Cole Custer is a guy that's not scared by names like Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, or anybody else for that matter. Noah Gragson definitely doesn't fear Noah Gragson because he raced with them a couple of years ago in Xfinity proper. So, yeah, I think Cole Custer for a top 3 finish, something he's done or has been very close to consistently in this track. I'll take it at plus 220.
Cole, third place. Custer, if you can bet him to finish exactly third place, you might even get a better number on that, Rod.
Hey, listen, try it, man.
Might not be a bad bet, really, if they gave it to you. But
talk to your bookie.
I'm going to go back to I got a couple of ways I'm going to tackle this. Riley Herbst, top 5. I do think that, like you mentioned, the top 5 market it's got its ups and downs, right? And I've given out, well, I guess I only landed on 2 because there isn't, the Elliott one, I liked it for the number because he should be a favorite that's up there. And then Riley Herbst I like because it's plus 360 Rod for Riley Herbst. Now, Riley Herbst can be hit and miss. We've seen that for sure, but when he hits, he hits. So I'm going to take him top 5 at plus 360. I'm also going to take him top 4 at plus 450. Here's the way that I'm looking at this Ford group, Rod. You've got, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 Fords in this race, but really it's a group of 4. It's Cole Custer, it's Noah Gragson, it's Riley Herbst. You might even be able to stop the list there, but I'm going to include Ryan Sieg as well. Outside of that, it's DeBenedetto, Deegan, Kyle Sieg, Blaine Perkins. Those 4, I mean, for one of them to be top Ford, some shit's going to have to happen. That's why, Deegan's 75 to 1 and Kyle Sieg and Blaine Perkins are 100 to 1 to be top Fords. But Cole Custer, obviously, probably going to finish in third place, but we've seen him kind of be up and down a little bit. He's minus 180. Noah Gragson, I was a little bit sad I couldn't find a way to get on Noah Gragson, Rod. I think a little bit of unknowns in this car. What exactly are we getting? Assuming it's SHR, but we don't know for sure. But he's priced like he's going to be one of the favorites. We know he's always kicked ass in Xfinity, so wouldn't be surprised, but not really a good way to get in on him. But then you got Riley Herbst sitting here at plus 450. If something happens to Custer, blows a tire, has a bad pit stop or something, maybe Gragson doesn't show up like we think he could, Riley Herbst could be right there. And really, Riley Herbst could beat these guys just straight out anyways. And then I think the top 5 number is good for the price you're getting it at plus 360. But for Riley Herbst, Rod, again, some ups and downs, but he was 7th place at Darlington, 5th place at Las Vegas earlier this season, 2nd at Miami last season. Last fall in Vegas, led 103 laps in a dominating win there, was 6th at Darlington, 6th at Michigan, 7th in the first Las Vegas. He was 6th at Auto Club last season. Doesn't have the best history here at Charlotte necessarily. 3 times he's finished in 12th place, so maybe if you can get him to finish exactly 12th place. But that's kind of the old Riley Herbst, right? And we talk about that a lot where these guys have, Ty Gibbs in the Cup Series or Noah Gragson in the Cup Series, Taylor Gray in the Truck Series. Herbst a lot like that too because kind of for a while, I mean, we used to shit on Riley Herbst and be like, why is this dude even keeping a ride? Like, why does Monster love him so much? And then the end of last season, it really started to click and we figured out why. And you've still been getting a lot of those ups. So I think he could be a surprise guy, gets in the top 5, maybe a Cup guy or two, has some issues, opens up a spot up there. But really, I think he could just race his way up there too. He could also just race for 15th all day. That's kind of, and then he's another guy that when pianos fall out of the sky, they hit him often. So, but I think getting two good numbers here, top 4 to plus 450, when it's essentially just a small group of 3 or 4 guys that you have to beat. And then the top 5 at plus 360, I think, is a good number also.
Do you think the monster contingent is going to be confused that Ty Gibbs is there too, and they're going to run towards Ty Gibbs's pit?
Monster.
It's me.
All the monster guys are used to there being like 14 monster cars. Like half the time we get in Cup Series, like sometimes Tyler Reddick has regular monster, Ty Gibbs has monster, Riley Herbst just come up and run monster a few times. There's a lot of monster cars. It's like Bass Pro. There's like 100 Bass Pro cars throughout all the NASCAR series and stuff. It's crazy.
Hey, I mean, it's good marketing.
Advertising
right?
works. That's right.
Although
ties in. He gets us.
He does.
Is he though? That's for Cup. Xfinity actually. He's got a different sponsor. You should know this, King, because I saw you posted in the Ty Gibbs fan group.
Does he?
I feel like it was a different.
Well, because Almirola usually has the He Gets Us as well. So
a lot of times he does.
I'm looking at this as well. Now you've got us all over here looking for Ty Gibbs.
20 card. Oh yeah, it is. It is listed as He Gets Us. So I guess so. I mean, I probably shouldn't question King. He knows his Ty Gibbs stuff. So
he gets monster. That's what he gets. All right.
There you go.
Tell you what. The days of Austin Hill as a top 5 car. We back, baby. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, it maybe not back. And this is another one where you might have to hold your nose. But for half the price of Sammy Smith, if you really don't feel comfortable with Sammy, Austin Hill, top 5 car, 125, right? Plus 125. And I was like, yeah, you could probably lay that and that would be fine. But if you really want to get froggy, jump up to his top 3 number, which is actually twice that. So plus 250 for Austin Hill as a top 3 car this weekend. He was 4th place last year in 2023. He started 17th and ended up 4th. So again, that top 5 theme is a constant thing that we're going, but I don't know. And I maybe it's just because I love these guys and I feel like I want the best for them, right? Just like Sammy Smith, just like Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, same type of a thing. He finished 2nd last week or last race rather that they were in, right? At Darlington, a 2nd place finish. He has finished 2nd. He did finish 2nd at COTA. He finished 4th in Phoenix, 4th in Vegas, 6th at Texas, like always so close to that top 5, right? Like we definitely felt the pain because he didn't finish in the top 5 when we wanted him to, especially at Texas, especially at a place like Richmond. But I think he's been a good enough driver to where maybe that 2nd place finish kind of lit something in him and that he figured out that he can run with the leaders. So I like his top 3 number. Like I said, if you really don't feel comfortable with his top 3, his top 5's plus 125. Let me, if you don't feel comfortable with the beach side, then let me get you into a more comfortable 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 125 little cottage over here. But if you
walking distance to the beach, right?
It's within walking distance. You can smell the ocean and you can hear the kids playing volleyball, but you don't have to be bothered by the sand in your shorts. So yeah, Hill top 3 for me at plus 250. I think he does have the car to do it. He's got the talent to do it. And again, just like Cole Custer, he's not scared off by Kyle Busch's. He's not scared off by Chase Elliott's or Noah Gragson's or Ty Gibbs. Like he's going to run his race and he's going to do it.
Nobody scares off Big Country.
Nobody scares off Big Country. Yeah, dude. If I was that yoked, nobody scared me either. So, yeah, like I said, Hill top 3 plus 250. However, if you don't want to make the type of investment to do that, I'll offer you Hill top 5, but plus 125 is not as sexy.
That's the more conservative investment over there if you don't like to be aggressive. I tried to fade Austin Hill at Darlington. It didn't work out for me. So I have no arguments against this. King saying he gets us for Xfinity, Interstate and Monster for Cup. So yeah, I was way off. No surprise there. Myron checking in. What's up, Myron? Monster has carte blanche over energy drink sponsor in NASCAR. Don't expect Prime to have a presence anytime soon. Actually, Kyle Larson is a big Prime guy. I don't know if you've seen his Indy 500 helmet. It's got the bricks on it, and then it's got a Prime bottle right down the middle of it. So, and he's always drinking Prime in his interviews. So, yeah, they've got a little bit. It's not to fucking monster levels because they're all over the place. But yeah, Prime's got their little bit in there with Kyle Larson.
I will not drink Prime ever. because I do not like the United States champion in the WWE. So there's your other second WWE reference.
I don't know who that is, but okay. Anyways, moving on, Rod.
Can you tell it's already been a long week? Everybody listening right now is going, Jesus.
We're 47 shows into this week, so it's okay. I'm going to go over to the top Chevrolet market. This is one that I've targeted a lot in Xfinity this year because the Chevrolets can be a little bit, it's questionable at the top, right? So you got Kyle Busch. We already talked about it. He's a heavy favorite in this. I'm not completely sold on Kyle Busch being the top Chevrolet. And again, I think he could be a top 5, maybe even a top 3 car and not be the top Chevrolet. Justin Allgaier at 3-1. I definitely looked at that, considered it, but he's still, I found a different way to get on him over Kyle Busch. So we're going to ride with that. Chase Elliott's 5-1. Again, Rod, same conversation we had earlier. This is Chase Elliott. What? 5-1? Sign me up. So I'm not going to get any more into that because I've already made my case for Chase Elliott. And then, Rod, we just keep forgetting about him. We're leaving him farther down on the board. What are we doing? Sam Mayer's 14-1 to win this race, Rod. 10-1 to be the top finishing Chevrolet. Just take him to be the top finishing Chevrolet. Ty Gibbs could win this. Chandler Smith could win this. Riley Herbst could win this. Cole Custer could win this. A bunch of guys could win this race, and he could still be the top finishing Chevrolet. The season started out absolutely fucking horrible for Sam Mayer. Could not. You thought Justin Allgaier couldn't catch a break. You thought Ty Majeski couldn't catch a break. Sam Mayer didn't even know what a break was, Rod. It was bad. But 4th place at Darlington a couple of weeks ago. Not bad. 3rd place at Dover. He won at Texas. That's 3 intermediate races in a row here where we've had some good results. Are you telling me 1st place couldn't be the top finishing Chevrolet? You can't say that because it would be. 3rd place could easily be the top finishing Chevrolet. Even 4th could be the top finishing Chevrolet. Sam Mayer is going to be in the mix here. He won 4 of the last 15 races last season, at the end of last season. One of those was Miami. He was 5th in Vegas. He was 5th at Michigan. He was 2nd at Auto Club earlier in the season. He did wreck here last season in this race, but 3rd place in 2022. And much like I said, that was the old Riley Herbst at that point. That was the old Sam Mayer at that point before. It's the Sam Mayer we know now with 4 wins last season and a win already this season and some strong runs. Let's stop forgetting about Sam Mayer and burying him in the odds here. And again, when he's 14-1 to win, which I had looked at and was going to take, and then I'm like, wait, he's 10-1 just to be the top finishing Chevrolet. Why not just go that route? And you can cover yourself if a Toyota or a Ford wins this race. And again, Chevys are loaded. You've got Busch, you've got Elliott, you've got Allgaier, but we're going to cover ourselves with Elliott. Hill's always kind of a wild card in there for sure. Jesse Love, AJ Allmendinger, Sammy Smith, you maybe think is going to do something, but it kind of falls off when you get any farther down there. So I think that attacking it with both these guys and Chase Elliott at 5-1, Sam Mayer at 10-1 is a good way to get in on it.
Yeah, Sam Mayer, yes. I mean, again, for what it's worth, he definitely, and if I think Junior Motorsports is going to be good this week, like I think they are, I got to give love to everybody. So when you put Sam Mayer in there, I was like, okay, good. We're covered there. I don't have to worry about it. And yeah, Chase Elliott in that 17, it would not be surprising if he came out and, put it on the pole and led a ton of laps and maybe only had to come out of the lead for pit strategies or whatever and find his way back up again. And a win definitely locks you into the top Chevy. So I love it. And it also locks in this next bet too. Winning car number. This is such a huge swing. Normally it's like set at, 11 or in our case, sometimes it's set at, whatever the 15 car or whatever 16 car is, they'll set it there. But this is 19.5. Give me the under on this one at plus money. Unbelievable that the under 19.5 is at plus money. The under has hit in 3 of the last 5 races. The only 2 times that it didn't hit was in 2001 when Ty Gibbs was driving the 54 and Kyle Busch was driving the 54. Both of those guys won this race in 2021 and 2019, or in 2020 rather. But Tyler Reddick in the 2 car won it in 2019. In 2022, it was Josh Berry in the 8. In 2023, it was Justin Allgaier in the 7. Oh, by the way, all Junior Motorsports drivers. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so they both hit that. What do you get in this? Well, you get Junior Motorsports. You get Sam Mayer, you get Justin Allgaier, you get Sammy Smith, you get Brandon Jones. Those are the guys that you get there, but you also get Cole Custer. You get Jesse Love. You do get AJ Allmendinger if he decides to actually win this race, but you get Chase Elliott as well. And somebody we haven't talked about, and I don't think he's ever going to win a race in his life, but Sheldon Creed is been nipping at the heels of a good finish. He could break through.
This was a week,
right?
He's 35-1, Rod. God.
I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call
What?
it. You can't, Cody. This is the only way that I feel comfortable with even putting money.
Me.
Go ahead.
Just you go. Keep talking. Go ahead.
You're going to add him to the card, and I'm not going to put him on the graphic. So there, joke's on you. But yeah. So again, the winning car number under 19.5. That's just a lot of good cars at plus 110. And I mean, like I said, 3 out of the last 5 years, it's happened between Reddick, Barry, and Allgaier. I know that Gibbs is 20. I know that he's above the cut line, which is probably why they did it. And I don't know if Almirola factored into the mix before the thing changed, but even still, that's just too many good cars to not try to take a chance on plus money on this one, because the under is minus 170. I mean, the over rather is minus 170. The other side of it.
No, because you got Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those guys obviously are swinging it. You get a lot of cars underneath of this. It's you get more heavy hitters above it, but I mean, even you're getting guys like Chase Elliott, guys like Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer. I mean, yeah, you're getting a lot of people under this. So I don't argue with you too often on the winning car numbers. This won't be one of the times, Rob.
Beautiful stuff. All right. I did notice that you did put another outright in there. I don't care. I'm not putting it on the graphic. It's too late for that. So, Cody, let's give the race winners before you decide to fill this box even more.
Well, yeah, I was only going to give out 3 winners, Rod, and you talked me into another one. So it's going to be 4 now. But going to the top of the board here, almost to the top of the board, Ty Gibbs is plus 375. Kyle Busch is the favorite to win this race. I think he's like plus 250. Just again, I don't have the faith there. But Ty Gibbs at plus 375, top 5 in the last 3 races here in Xfinity. He won one of them, second place in one of them. So I like that for Ty Gibbs. And again, this is the new Ty Gibbs. I mean, Xfinity Ty Gibbs has literally been good since day one, right? He won his very first career start. But now you've got a more advanced, better Cup Series driver that's showing up with the confidence, and the Monster Girls are holding his umbrella on TV, and things are going good for this guy. I think that he's going to carry that through into this weekend. Plus 375, I think he's a good bet. Chase Elliott plus 750. What are we doing, Rod? Why? Even if Chase Elliott just sucks on Saturday for some reason, you're getting a good number on all these bets. I don't understand why. So it's essentially we sort of wrote a weird card lift through this episode for Chase Elliott, but plus 750 for Chase Elliott and Xfinity. I don't think you can pass up. It's a Hendrick car. He's not in Joe Bob Jones, prepared by Hendrick or something even. Like, it's a fucking Hendrick car. I don't understand. Anyways, Chandler Smith, I'm going to do it again, Rod, 10-1. Too big of a number. I tried to find other ways to get him in this card. Couldn't quite do it. He burned me at Darlington a couple of weeks ago. I'm still a little bit hurt by you, Chandler. But he's still the favorite to win. I was looking at his championship odds. I'm like, they're starting to sleep on him week to week. Maybe he's still the favorite by a lot. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully he got in before the season like we told you to. Been a rough couple of weeks for him, but he's got 2 wins. He led 74 laps at Las Vegas earlier this season before finishing in 3rd place. And we've seen him be very fast. We know these Gibbs cars are fast. He's been very good. Things have fallen off a little bit, but I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to be just fine. 10-1 for Chandler Smith, when earlier this season, I think he was like 3-1. We were getting him in some weeks, like very low Corey Haim-esque numbers, right? So I think 10-1 is a good number for Chandler here. And then you mentioned him, Rod, Sheldon Creed, 35-1. I understand Sheldon Creed does Sheldon Creed things. He's probably going to look good. He's probably going to fuck it up. But it's 35-1. If he finishes dead last, who cares? It's 35-1. Creed has the capability of finishing in 2nd place, Rod. Many, many, many times. And we've seen it before. Guys finish 2nd and 2nd and 2nd and 2nd. And eventually they get it done. And he is not Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick finishes 2nd and 2nd. And he won a championship, whatever. But Sheldon Creed is a winner. Like, he dominated in the Truck Series. He won all the time in the Truck Series, champion, winning races left and right. It's been rough in the Xfinity Series. I get it, but he's in a JGR Toyota. They're fast. And I know Eric Almirola shit on JGR a little. Maybe that's why he's not in the car, Rod, because his comments after Darlington when he's like, we need to figure out these cars or whatever. Joe's like, fine, we'll put Ty in the car and you can see how this we'll see how this intermediate package looks with Ty in it. How about
we'll
that?
Figure it out while you rest. Go rest, Eric.
You go home, old man. We'll let the young guy show you how it's done. But 35-1 for a JGR Toyota with a driver who's come really close. And like Sheldon Creed almost won at Darlington a couple years ago, going door to door with Kyle Larson on the last lap. Like, he's got those little bit of glimpse of flashes. And this is one where if he doesn't win, it was 35-1. Who cares? It wasn't 8-1. It wasn't 6-2. Like, it's 35-1. It deserves a little bit of a sprinkle because it shouldn't be this long. He's going to get one eventually. And at 35-1, it's worth a shot.
So if that one hits, I want you to give all credit to me to force you into that one. So JDK saying, sorry, I know he means boys. I don't know who Boyd is, but sorry, boys, missed the whole show. If we can just hit it from the top, that would be great. All right, everybody, back to one. We're about to do this all over again. Let's cue the music. All right.
Hey, Rod, how's your day been?
It's been pretty good, man. How's it going? Let's hit it. Ready?
Yeah, let's
Ready,
go.
Rock?
Hit live? All right, here we go.
We're live.
All right.
All right. Listen, my outright's not that difficult to get. It's Justin Allgaier again. And here's why it's Justin Allgaier again. All right. He's 5-1. 5-1 on Justin Allgaier, who just won the last race, on this track. He shouldn't be 5-1. He should be closer to Kyle Busch's +2, +350, somewhere in that vicinity. But if you're giving me Justin Allgaier, we've popped the seal off of Justin Allgaier's wins now. It's all over, right? You've poked the beast, you poked the bear, you've done all the things that aggravate the beehive. Justin Allgaier's back, right? I think he finally has the confidence to be able to hang with everybody again and to find his way back into victory lane. Once again, Justin Allgaier, not scared by anybody on this track, right? This is not a place where he's intimidated. He's won on this track before. He's got 12 top 10s on this track before. And he's definitely somebody who every time he sets foot on this racetrack is somebody that you need to pay attention to, right? A second place finish in 2019, like I talked about, a second place finish that was Tyler Reddick. Man, him and Tyler Reddick at the end of that race definitely had something for each other. But over the last couple of years, right, 2023, he won this race. He led 83 laps. Last year, he led 63 laps. He started second on the outside, finished seventh on that one. So he runs well on this track. He's not afraid of this track. He's not afraid of the competition on this track. And at 5-1, that's just a misprice, in my opinion, for an outright on Justin Allgaier. So I'm grabbing that. Yeah,
no argument from me. This is one of those scenarios where you're getting a little bit of a bumped up number because all the Cup guys are in the field. So, and he is capable of beating all these Cup guys. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Yeah, he definitely is, and we know it because he's not a young kid. He's on the older side like me. Not maybe as old as me, but he's definitely on the older side.
He might be pretty close.
I don't know. I think he's in his late 30s.
I feel like he might be. Yeah, I bet he's 38, 39.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that young. I used to be.
What's your official guess on his age, Rod?
I'm gonna say 38. Actually, is what I'm gonna say.
37.
See, I was
So
close.
look at that. We were close.
Look at that. I can eyeball age from a distance. All right. What you can eyeball is this graphic as you get out your pen and paper. And I messed up on the graphic.
Oh, the Coke 600. Yeah, bet on all these guys in the Coke
change
600. Wow. Was this your first day, Rod?
This is my first day. I told you too just before that. I was like, I'm taking my time. I'm doing whatever. All right, just ignore the Coke 600 and the Cup Series thing. But here are the picks for this BetMGM betting picks 2024. Cody started you out with Chase Elliott as a top 5 car at +120. I gave you Sammy Smith as a top 5 car at 5-1. Cody gave you Justin Allgaier over Kyle Busch at +120 and Ty Gibbs over Kyle Busch at +100. I said that Jesse Love would finish better than AJ Allmendinger at -110. And then Cody gave you Ty Gibbs as a top 3 car at +120. I said Cole Custer could be a top 3 car at +220. And then Cody said Herbst would be a top 5 car at +360 and the top Ford also at +450. He also said that I said that Hill would be a top 3 car at plus 250. Then Cody gave you Chase Elliott as the top Chevy at 5-1, or Sam Mayer as the top Chevy at 10-1. I said the winning car would be under 19.5 at plus 110. And then Cody gave you Gibbs at plus 375, Elliott at plus 750, Chandler at 10-1, and then he threw in Creed at the end at 35-1 to win the race. I said Justin Allgaier at 5-1 would be the winner of the BetMGM 300, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Cody, I will tender my resignation for screwing up the graphic forthwith. So hope you find a good new host.
Yeah, that's not happening. So you're not allowed to. Here's your notice, Rod.
He's ripping it up. Thank God.
Take it, eat it, and you're staying here.
Fine. I'll just do better next time. That's all there is to it.
But hey, we've had 4 pick shows this week for races. We're done finally. Wait a minute. We got trucks still to come tomorrow. Let's fucking go.
And then DFS also on Friday. So yeah, man, we have crammed so much into this week. I don't know.
It's only Wednesday. I was just like, I just looked at the thing. I'm like, holy shit, it's only Wednesday, Rob. It feels like it's Sunday already. We've been so hard at it this week.
Yeah. Not to mention it's a long weekend for a lot of people too. So like this is going to be a hell of a weekend to watch some racing. So
absolutely.
All right, Cody. Well, then let's turn everybody loose to go fill out their betting cards for the Xfinity race as we get them ready for the trucks tomorrow. Where can they find you outside of this little box?
Yep. Follow me over on the X at @House_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. If you want a little sneak peek at some underdog picks, I have an article that just came out over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com with the Cup Series underdog picks. We'll have additional ones on the show, of course, on Friday. But if you want to get some of those in now, go for it. Also, Coke 600, Indy 500, and Monaco betting articles are all out over there. Got some NFL stuff that's out recently as well. So check all that out. More to come later this week too, Rod. And go check out the F1 Gambling Podcast. Rod and myself, of course, over there for Monaco. We got Indy 500 earlier this week, Coke 600 yesterday, and come back tomorrow for the Truck Series.
Lots and lots of stuff going on. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez to keep up with all of it. If you want to, you can find all the stuff that I got going on in the link in my bio, whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review. I just got the Indy 500 template, so I'll be working on that. Have that up by the end of the week. And then, of course, in between media, go check out Seth and Elliot as they break down the Charlotte race. Yeah, that's what it is. Got to get out of here, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, let's go racing and let it ride.